We are here for Art Battle in Chicago. We are going to have 10 incredible artists painting with us tonight in a tournament of creativity and courage. These artists will be split into 2 qualifying rounds and 1 final round. Each round is 20 minutes long, and the artists are battling each other and a blank canvas. Only 20 minutes in an effort to capture the audience's votes. And we actually need you guys out in the audience to help us capture those votes. We need you guys to choose who your favorite artists are going to be. So as we're waiting for the artists to begin, head on over to artbattle.com/vote. That is where you will register to vote and where you can pick your favorite guys. So we are just waiting for our venue camera to go live, and that should be happening in just 1 or 2 minutes. Once again, my name is Morgan Booth, and I am here with artist and Art Battle Ottawa organizer Peter Purdy.
Yeah, Morgan, actually, I have a few quick questions about this event. Now, is this an all acrylic battle, or will it be a mixed media?
So mixed media, like probably it's going to be mostly acrylic because that's what we're providing. But we have told these artists that they can bring whatever they want to the table, within reason, of course.
Right. Yeah, no deck sprayers or anything like that.
Yeah. Have someone bring in a power wash.
People would try it if you give them enough elbow room. They'll try, I'm sure.
Wouldn't put it past them.
Well, I'm getting my first look at this space. Wow, it's really, really quite something. I love those murals.
Yeah, the venue's incredible. It's called Spin in Chicago, and it's actually a ping pong venue, a ping pong party venue. I was going to say pinball, but that's not the right thing. And it's got such an incredible vibe there. There's so many murals, and there's lots of ping pong related art installations too. There's a big copper tub just full of ping pong balls that you can get into. It's really fun over there.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Yeah, actually a ping pong paddle would be neat to paint on.
Oh,
that was hard to say.
For any of our Art Battle Chicago hopefuls, you guys should take note of what Peter just said. Maybe incorporate a paddle into your next battle scenario.
Worst comes to worst, you could use it for self-defense, right?
Yeah. Okay. Just waiting for our camera here. So Peter, you've been up to some cool stuff lately. You just were a part of a skateboard art show, right?
Yeah. It's called oh my god. Sorry, the name of the show is something to do with deck, and I don't know why I'm drawing a complete blank on that. But yeah, no, it was a fundraiser event, art auction that's still going on through cool. Beyond the Pale Brewery, and the proceeds go towards helping people suffering from the war in the Ukraine. So, yeah, very important cause, and very happy to be part of that. And
that auction will be open until Sunday, right?
That's
at the Beyond the Pale Brewery.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And, I should have that link handy and everything, or even know the name of the event, but for some reason I'm completely drawing a blank.
That is okay. I'm sure that will.
That's what I get for drinking decaf coffee at this time of day.
True. I'm sure that that's we'll be sharing some of that as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we
have a camera.
Okay, so it looks like we've got our artists starting to move up to the easels. getting our artist announcements in, I believe, now.
What time is it there? Is it 7-ish or?
Rolling, and we're gonna get in a few minutes, so stick tight.
I was just walking up, I'm like, I can do it even quicker. I can do it now.
Here we've got our artists heading up to the easels now. Our round one artists. These guys will have 20 minutes on the clock to battle a blank canvas and vie for your votes. So head on over to artbattle.com/vote if you are watching out there in the internets, and make sure that you get yourself registered so you can pick your favorite artist. The top 2 artists from each round will be going into a third and final showdown round.
All right.
Getting excited.
So what size of canvas are they working on tonight? Do you know?
I believe that it is 18 by 24. I think that that's usually the standard size that they have cooking up in Chicago. But we may see as we get closer. I think that they've thrown in a few curveballs occasionally with some square canvases, which is always a treat for the audience. But I know as an former art battle competitor, when the canvas size has been different, that always throws me for a loop. But part of the challenge, right?
Yeah, absolutely. A square or a round canvas completely changes your composition. And if you're not expecting it, if it's a surprise, it could really shift your game plan.
Yeah, definitely. It's so, you wouldn't think that there'd be a huge difference between a rectangle and a square, but just compositionally, it's so much more of a challenge, I find, going square.
Absolutely. Looks like, have they begun? Still just getting set up.
Yeah, I think they're just getting prepped. Although I have seen quite a few artists jump the gun before. I've seen artists, once they get their name called, that's when they start painting instead of waiting for the countdown. So, okay, here's our announcement.
You know when you're nervous, right? Anything could happen.
Focus on you, vibrant colors, taking focus on you, very vibrant colors, really taking influence from various life experiences of day-to-day life. Make some noise for Juju! Artists that have robust style, the artists that have robust style, ability to use brushes to start black and white. Let's show some love for Ricky Ross, to start black and white. Let's show some love for Ricky Ross, the weird one. Coming in. Interdisciplinary artists who always make art that is truly their own. Plus, always have one art that is truly their own. Plus, they have one of the most amazing. Everyone give a warm welcome to Elizabeth Shit. Everyone give a warm welcome to Elizabeth Shit. Coming in first round. Annalisa is our wild. Annalisa is the first round. Annalisa is a law student from California who started skating as a hobby during COVID. She loves to skate and trick art. Give it up for Annalisa!
Round one. I'm so excited to see this. Round one. I'm so excited to see this. This is amazing, guys. You got your justice. This is amazing, guys. You got your justice. And art battle, guys. So what we like to do here and art battle, guys, we like to, again, you guys on. What we like to do is form a circle. What we like to do is form a circle. We like to keep this kinetic energy going. We don't go clockwise. For anybody that knows clockwise, keep it going so we can make sure that we spectate. Clockwise, keep it going so we can make sure that we spectate. All the teachers say hello. This is the stream going on over here. Teachers say hello. This is teachers.
All right, I am registered to vote.
I'm gonna need a big help. It's gonna come down, guys. It's gonna start. It's gonna come down to one, and that's when we gonna start. Are you ready for guys? You gonna see all the 20 minutes creations we made. You gonna see all of these dope creations we made in 20 minutes. Shit. Let me, All right, guys. Are you ready, Jiggy? All right, everybody now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2,
All right, let's paint.
All right, so looks like we have an artist that's dividing up her canvas.
Yeah, that looks like Elizabeth Shen on easel number 5, and this is actually her first art battle. So welcome to Elizabeth.
Oh yeah, exciting! I love seeing new painters. I do enjoy a good surprise, and also just to see, what they do in the situation. Like the first time out, it's a challenge just to even cover the canvas, right? And to get your basic idea down, and oh, there we go. There's a name tag. But yeah, no, because not to put them down in any way, but some, let's say, all-stars or alumni, kind of fall back on old tricks that they've learned over the years, where new painters, don't really have the confidence yet of performing in front of an audience.
Yeah, you get to see kind of the newbie, like the newbie excitement. It's I was gonna say newbie nerves, but it's more of like an excited energy. I always wish that I could recapture that myself when I'm at art battle. Like I always love art battle, but it just gets so extra jazz for people who are doing it the first time. Like, oh, I wish I could recapture that experience for myself.
Oh, absolutely. When was your first art battle?
Oh,
How many moons ago was that?
2009, November 2009. It's been a long time. So
no, it's amazing to see how the competition has grown and how the artists have grown. I've had the opportunity now to watch some artists that are just weren't even on the scene, and they got into art battle, and it created connections with the community for them, and some are now muralists or, showing in galleries. It's really quite something.
Yeah, absolutely. Art battle is a really great way to build that kind of community. So who do we have here? I think that this is Michelle Riviera. And I have to say I'm a little bit surprised that she is working in black and white. When I was checking out her work prior to the competition, it was like really brightly vibrant and fluorescent. So interested to see if that's where she goes with this, or if she's going to do monochrome like this.
Yeah, monochromatic is always like I always find that it's easier to create your volumes that way. But like if she's planning on doing this as an underpainting to set her tonal value, will she have time for it to dry enough for her to come back in and start laying coloring on top of that?
Yeah, that's always the battle, right? Is like when you're working in this super tight time constraint of only 20 minutes, you're really battling wet paint just as much as you're battling the clock.
Yeah, and when you're rushing too, right? Like you're not really paying much attention to each brush stroke. You're like get the information on the canvas, and but I'm enjoying this portrait next to her as well.
So this is actually Juju. And for our audience that's just joining us now, Juju was recently a competitor in the U.S. National Championship in Wichita Falls on April 2nd. And so he's a Chicago-based artist, and he is just such an art battle addict that he keeps traveling to all of these different cities and painting. And so he actually ended up representing Los Angeles instead of Chicago. He won in L.A.
Wow. Amazing. That's quite the feat in itself. The art in LA is so prominent.
Yeah,
it was so many great artists.
Yeah, it's just super badass to like, okay, you made it to nationals and you didn't even have a home cheering section.
It's true, kind of like our own Rob Nicholson.
Yeah,
from here in Ottawa that won in Toronto. Yeah, he won 2 spots.
Yeah, I know. So great. So he's in the Canadian finals twice there. Okay, who
Round
do we
1 and 2? No, I'm joking.
That'd be great. He would do it.
He would.
Who do we have here with this pink portrait? We've got Ricky D. Ross. And Ricky describes his work as having Chicano elements with some pop culture and tattoo culture thrown in there. So interested to see where he goes with this piece. I love this, just this hyper vibrancy here with this like red but fuchsia portrait that he's got going on now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that really is vibrant, like you said. I normally don't use a palette in that way, so I'm always drawn to this kind of work.
Mm-hmm. That like super saturated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm totally a junkie.
And a lot of artists in art battle kind of draw with the brush, right? Mm-hmm. Instead of like a painterly approach. Often it's line work on top of fields of color, and I just love the illustrativeness of it all.
That's such a great comment, Peter. I definitely see that all the time, but I don't think I've described it in that way. But that's so true. This is cool from Andrew Vickers. So I've seen Andrew Vickers paint a few times, and he almost always paints animals with some sort of like whimsical spin. So this is the first figurative that I've ever seen from him. Looks like we've got a statue going on.
Yeah, like a Greek bust kind of thing. Very takes me back to my art school days.
Totally.
Having to draw and paint plaster sculptures.
Yeah, definitely. I love the shadow play that he's got going on right here.
Mm-hmm. And then, are those two roosters? Yes, right next to it.
Elizabeth Shen, and I think I heard our announcer saying that her portfolio is the most chicken-heavy portfolio that he's ever seen. So I guess this is a very familiar subject for her. So I love that she's painting both of these upside down, or like both of them at the same time, with one of them being upside down. That would really hurt my brain.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it's one thing to do a mirror image, but this is taking it to another level.
So good. Yeah, like it's looking so symmetrical too. Like, she's really got those proportions on it. And yeah, this would take a little bit of a brain bending situation for me. I'm a little stressed watching it, just trying to picture myself getting the proportions that correct.
Yeah, because my problem too is that often is that, like, I'm perhaps it's my ADHD. I get hyper focused in one area, right? So I would probably try to paint one almost in completion, and then flip the canvas around and begin on the second one, and then I would lose the balance. I wouldn't be as successful as this is looking. That's for sure.
Yeah, she's doing such a great job, and that's a great point of not getting bogged down in the details at Art Battle, because you really don't have time to do that. Like, I think the best management strategy that I see from artists that often are winning over and over is just they focus on the details in like the last 5 minutes.
Right.
Like, they lay out all of their groundwork and then hone it, and then put their finishing touches on. And looks like that's what Elizabeth has got going on right now.
Yeah. One thing that also amazes me too is that there are those painters out there that are just so painterly, right? Very impressionistic, and once in a while you have an artist that just comes in and throws down something that looks like a 20-hour piece in 20 minutes. And
yeah, it's boggling. And then you really get the understanding of, like, we always talk about artists and like how they display their skill, and it's always this piece I made in X amount of time, but it's actually 10 years or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't remember the last time that I've done a piece of art in a day, let alone in less than an hour. I in the studio, you're always, let it dry, come back, fresh cup of coffee, sit there and stare at it for 2 hours, and then try to, achieve what you have originally wanted. And,
in our battle,
you don't have time to doubt it. Mm-hmm.
So I'm really,
which I love,
I'm really
because it takes you out of your head,
yeah. I'm really digging what our wildcard artist Annalisa is doing with this like door portal, and then these green stairs leading away from it in this like black void. It's so simple the way that she's executed it with these kind of geometric shapes, but it's really like content heavy.
Mm-hmm. It draws you in. There's a story unfolding, right?
Mm-hmm. And who are we with here? I think this is Michelle Rivera. And again, sticking to this monochrome, which I'm surprised about, but she's doing a really great job rendering these folds of fabric, I think.
Mm-hmm. Is it perhaps a jacket?
Yeah, I think we've got a jacket on a chest.
Very cool. Do we know how much time is left in this round?
I had a mishap with my timer, but I would say that my internal art battle clock says that we're about 10 minutes in. So I would say that these guys are at the halfway mark now.
All right. Yeah, it's so used to just being able to look up at the giant screen and be like, yes.
So Juju's portrait is super interesting. It's so this is very true to his style, which I love. I always love seeing that from artists, that you get their studio style coming through in art battle. And this is definitely the stylized portrait kind of character approach is definitely typical for Juju. What do you?
Yeah,
what
true. I'm sorry, pardon?
What are you thinking of this portrait?
I'm digging it. It's raw. It looks like a graffiti character in many ways. But I really feel that like this isn't his first time working with this character. I assume. Yeah,
definitely.
Because it has personality right off the get-go, and now he's coming in with the highlights.
Yeah, I love these like sleepy eyes, these like half-closed kind of hazy eyes. It really, like, just that kind of gestural part of the painting really communicates the vibe so well. Like, this guy's chilling.
Yeah. And
you can see over the shoulder that Michelle is now introducing that fluorescent that I was just wanting so badly.
Oh, nice. Yeah, nice, beautiful, warm pink. It's very cool.
Yeah, I love that. And so yeah, it just goes to show, or it goes to show me at least, it's you gotta have patience for the way that the artists are building it. I was guilty of saying like, that doesn't look like our studio work, but now it does.
Well, that's it, and that's one of the beauties of art battle is that every artist has, created their own habits, good and bad, when it comes to their work, and this gives you an opportunity to really get an idea of their process, and an artist's process can be so diverse from one to another, and you're not going to get this level of teaching, even in most cases. And if you went to an art school, your instructor isn't even going to spend this amount of time showing you how to apply paint to a canvas. And here you have 6 amazing artists showing you all their different tricks. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's like a 20-minute crash course times 6, and then you get to do it 2 more times in the night as well. So we've got Ricky D. Ross here, back with this super vibrant fuchsia portrait. I feel like that's got to be a rubine red, just from the way that it's mixing down into this pink. And I'm definitely getting a sense of kind of religious iconography from this piece. What do you think?
Yeah, it almost looks like a habit of a nun or something. Possibly like the Virgin Mary, perhaps. I'm also kind of getting. Again, which would be, back to the Latino heritage and Catholicism in their art.
And the way that he's executed this too, with all of these kind of glowing gradients, you're really getting that sense of like glowing, emanating, and lightning power,
Mm-hmm. And I like how, that's some really deep, dark color that he's laid down as well right beside it. But I don't feel that it's out of balance. You know,
I really like that contrasting element because I feel like the red is so hot that you need something to kind of break it up, and that's what he's doing with these kind of like compartmentalized shadows.
Mm-hmm.
Rose.
So
the statue's name is Rose, I assume. And we've got, I think these red bits are petals. Oh man, I gotta say, I love this the sea foam that has crept in to Elizabeth's piece.
Yeah, that's you know, that kind of seafoam turquoise, like that's a challenging color to work with, I find.
Yeah.
But she's done it beautifully. That blue up against that, really pushes those chicken heads out further.
Yeah. Oh, I love that we just saw her flip it too.
Outstanding.
Yeah, I feel like I think that you're right. The seafoam and just like the palette that she's got going on here with these rooster characters is making this so much more, it's bringing it more into the kind of contemporary space and making it a little bit cheekier than, because I know that I'm used to seeing, this isn't my first rooster painting that I've seen.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
A lot of them are more kind of traditional and like speaking to kind of like farm life and, you know, like coziness and stuff like that. But this one, like, these are some crazy chickens. We like them. We like the crazy chicken.
That's right. Yeah, I'm no stranger to chicken paintings either. After curating at Atomic Rooster for a few years in Ottawa, where every year we would have our annual cock show, paintings about roosters and chickens, and but these are great. These have you know, definite emotion behind them.
I think we just got our countdown.
All right.
Let me turn our venue audio up for a second. These guys did such a great job. What a fun first round.
Yeah. They set the bar, you know, pretty high. We'll have to see what happens next.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
So voting should now be open?
Yep, voting is now open. If you guys out there in the internet are watching, make sure you go to artbattle.com/vote. The top 2 artists from this round and round number 2 will be going into a 4-artist final showdown. So make sure that you vote for your favorite artist because every vote counts. We often are hearing from our voting manager, Gina, that it will be a really, really tight race. So if you're liking and digging any of these artists' work in round number 1, make sure that you cast your vote for them. Don't sleep on it. These works are also all available for silent auction. You don't need to be in the room to bid and take home any of these pieces. We will ship them to you. We do a really great shipping flat rate across the US as well. I'm digging this. I'm so happy that Michelle in not only that pink, but then she's got these pops of green going on that create a lot of visual interest there. And then, of course, Juju here rocking it with his classic character. And I gotta say, I love the addition of this line, this smile line.
Mm-hmm. Because, like, those teeth are a little menacing, but, like, now it's almost comical.
Yeah, there's all kinds of, like, little juxtapositions in here.
Very cool.
And I think that he's put in the exact time that he finished painting it, 8:29 p.m. That's cool.
That is cool.
Okay, and Ricky D. Ross with our Virgin Mother here, I think. And again, just loving this palette.
Yeah, no, it really, really vibrates.
Lots of writing this round.
Yeah, it's true. Normally you don't see that much.
I think maybe because some of these artists are coming from more of a street art / graph background. Maybe that's why we're seeing more writing in this competition.
Yeah. When I was in school, often, when we would try to incorporate text into our work would be, brow bashed for doing it and told like it's, you have to use it as a sense of line, like not the word, but the rhythm of the word. And and I always thought that was crap.
It's text, I think, is definitely something that a lot of audiences are kind of divided on, because sometimes it can really add to a piece and kind of make people feel included in the piece, like they're in on it. But at the same time, some people don't like being kind of told that directly what a piece is about. They want to bring their own interpretation to it. So it's definitely something that kind of divides audiences. So we'll see how that comes out in the voting. But I love these roosters so much.
Yeah.
I think we know where my vote is.
Wow, and the wild card,
Yeah. Good job, Annalisa.
Yeah. It is not easy to fill a canvas. And there's a story here I want to know more about.
Yeah, I'd like to chat with her and get some insight there. Looks like Michelle also might have added in a little bit of some purple tones into that background too. Really well.
I wasn't sure if that was maybe a shadow from the lighting, but as people walk by, I can tell it's not. And yeah, it really just kind of pushed that figure even further forward. Quite sharp, nice and moody. I like that.
Yeah, me too. And I think in just a few minutes we're going to be getting our interim performance. I think that we have 2 musical performances that are going to be happening between the rounds tonight, which is really fun. Another reason why Chicago is one of my favorite art battle cities. They've always got lots of different entertaining elements going on.
Yeah, it really seems to be a city that truly loves and understands culture.
Yeah, absolutely. And just like really, really embraces the importance of community is the overwhelming sense that I've gotten just by watching these shows.
Yeah, no, it's I'm really impressed with this venue. It is cool. I want to live there.
It's awesome. It's so enormous too. And for anybody watching who's wondering where this wonderful place is and what it is, we are at Spin Chicago tonight, and Spin is a ping pong party venue and bar, and there's actually like multiple locations all over the US. And I had no idea that ping pong was so popular, but apparently it's where the people go to rock and roll these days.
The crazy kids. Yeah, no, I guess for our generation it was like karaoke and pool halls.
And now we've got ping pong and art battle.
That's it. It's an evolution. I see it. It's a step up for sure.
It's cool.
All right, so they've moved the pieces over to the auction wall, and you can see volunteers are now resetting the stage. You know, I just want to give a shout out to my own team, if possible, that like Art Battle could not be done without the help of amazing volunteers. Every city I've been in and every opportunity, I'm always blown away by the amazing people that come out and help and really create the community that we love.
Yeah, Art Battle definitely is, it kind of takes a village. You have all of the artists, you have the local organizers, you have the Art Battle headquarters people, and then of course all of the people that are on the ground washing the brushes, running around with the wet paintings, cleaning up after super messy artists.
Right? Sometimes they're the most important people. Like,
yeah, exactly. And then of course our super awesome audience who come out and answer the question of which art they like best, which I can't give enough credit to our audience in that way. It's such a personal decision to decide what art you like, and then to express that. And art is also there's kind of a gatekeeping structure to a lot of art community, and so having Art Battle really is like just opening it up to people who are not necessarily usually in the art sphere and asking them what they think about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. You know, a lot of the times people are actually intimidated to go into an art gallery. They may walk by it, you know, for weeks and weeks and see this piece through the window that they love, but they're afraid to approach it and to enter into the gallery, you know. And I feel like this just breaks all that down and becomes, you know, so approachable, you know, and you're not dealing with somebody that's a salesperson, you know. You're talking directly to the artist, you know, if you seek them out for conversation. And you know, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and it is so subjective. And you know, and that's the beauty of it, right? Is that there's something for everyone.
Yeah, it's so it gives me the happy warm fuzzies talking about accessibility in art. And as we are talking about everybody giving their opinion, I think now is a pretty good time to also continue to plug. We need you guys out in the internet to help us vote for these artists. We're running through on the screen right now our auction and the artists who were painting in round number 1. So you'll be able to see those. And make sure that you go to artbattle.com/vote. That's where you register. You plug in your phone number and we send you a special text so that we can make sure that each person only votes once. That's why we register people by phone number. It's a pretty cool little tech trick. But yeah, these guys have done a great job. And again, they may have had 20 minutes to come up with these paintings, but they've been painting for so much longer than that. So it's their skill is being kind of shoved into these 20 minutes.
That's it. 30 years on a canvas, right?
Yeah.
And you know, I know there's been some people that say that, you know, it's next to impossible to create a piece of work that quickly or whatever. But, you know, it always brings me back to think about Picasso's work. You know, is, you know, the father of Cubism and one of the, you know, greatest artistic minds of all time. And, you know, he got into very gestural works, right? Where it was about conveying the emotion through the quickness.
Sorry to interrupt you, Peter. I think we're getting our intro for our... I had been thinking that maybe we were getting our intro for our musical act, just hearing our MC on there, but I don't. It looks like our second round artists are getting ready, so I'm not sure that we'll be getting. Oh. Sorry, I'm just trying to hear our venue audio as well. I think that they're asking for the wild card now.
The wild card, eh?
I love the wild card.
Me too. You know, I think only once in competition in Ottawa, since I've been organizer, did we actually see a wild card win.
I love when that happens. It's so tricky. Like, it feels like one of those just one of those movies where the underdog wins, and it's so thrilling. From out of nowhere. So for anyone that's watching and is unfamiliar with the concept of the Art Battle Wildcard, Art Battle Wildcard is when we keep one easel intentionally open, and we invite people who are attending as audience members to enter their name for a chance to paint. Oh, here we are with our musical performance.
Let's give it a little bit into it. I've been out for a few months now, and it's been an amazing experience. Every time I get to come out here and watch all you creators create from scratch, it's really dope as fuck. At the end of the day, as a musician, art holds so much weight because it's the visual representation of music, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can't have music with art, we can't have art without music. So, yeah, with that being said, like I said, make some noise for yourselves tonight if y'all feeling yourselves. Alright, quick. Do we have any R&B fans in the building? Okay, alright, cool. So the first song that I'm going to perform is called Take Me There. I wrote this song around 3 years ago and just dropped it like 2 years ago. We just hit 10K on the music visual actually not too long ago. So, where's my boy Dwayne at? I need Versio to come up to the stage if he's in here. Where my boy Rivera at?
Probably getting a drink at the bar or something.
Hey man, at the bar. Okay, cool, real good. Like I said, I'm Jiggy Bars. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram at Jiggy Bars and all that stuff before we get started, so y'all can tag me and all that cool stuff. And it seems like, we're just gonna do the first track, so I guess we'll go ahead. Real quick, this single I just released on all streaming platforms. Video for it in 2 weeks. So we're gonna turn it up real quick. Can I get some of that here? Yeah, shout out, let me talk to you real quick. I just want to feel this. Alright, check it out. Hey, alright, niggas. You gonna suck me down and some bread. Don't fill me up like quick, you know, stepping on my. Taking it all alone and focus on my business. You wanna speak about the bucket, hey, every time. But I got, tell her you can give me when the sun go down. Looking for a shutting off. Show you why I'm right in the moment. Check it out. It's the black girl, it's so good. Dancing in this foot, working all in my face. All the years all on my trunks, I've been stacking my chin. You do it like this. I'm on top of the food chain. I appreciate y'all energy. I appreciate these dope nice creators in the building. Like I said, we were supposed to be taking it first, but we're gonna fuck around and do it next. So, like I said, this song got just 15K on YouTube. And then, has anybody been going through a breakup recently? No? Yeah.
I did.
Y'all hot girl summer though? Okay, but yeah. So that's kind of where the core motivation from this song came from. And I wrote it 3 years ago when I was going through a breakup. And like I said, man, it's a really good, dope R&B vibe. And shit, we're just gonna rock out. So make some noise for y'all, South Chicago. We're gonna take me there.
Everybody clap with me.
Let's go!
How could you call this love? Take me. Maybe I can't forget. Take me there, take me there.
With the soft lips, pass deeper than the galaxy. Don't sight is so flattering. Yeah, I'm just trying to the cold, but you know woods with the off-white. Summertime shine, you was alright. So you talk about love, I'm back in the fuck, got me out of trust. The boy, I know their shoes, is it so annoying? Gotta sing another. true love, say all that you can truly ride. Let's go, Southside. Come on. I got some food to say, the rules we break, I hate. The choice it takes to rule the game. The self that loves rule the way. Energies and drugs, choose your fate. Yeah, son, when it was all in love, you was there for me, care for me, now I'm running it up. Reminiscing on the days we was having fun, others in the dark space, now a nigga in the sun.
Baby, it's just ignorance. How could you call this love? You take me there, you take me there, you take me. Baby, I can't forget, but baby, I won't forget. You take me there, you take me there, take a hold of me.
Sorry I went too far. Baby, you got my heart.
Vibe was the same. Hey.
Love I don't regret.
I know y'all know the lyrics by now. Let me see it. Hey.
Baby, it's just ignorance. How could you call this love? There, you take me, there, you take me. Maybe I can't forget, but baby, I won't forget. You take me there, you take me there.
Hey, make some noise for yourself. Hey, I really
Appreciate
fuck with
y'all.
y'all.
Thank y'all for the energy.
I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all are really blessed to be able to perform for
Yes,
y'all.
sir.
I got one more song that put y'all.
Let's go.
I got another R&B vibe for y'all. So if y'all groove, man, just with us. This next song is another unreleased track. Featuring my homegirl, Afro Central. Next year's for Afro Central. So we gonna get y'all vibing. We gonna get y'all teed up. Afro, you wanna hit me?
Sex on it. In my cup, drinking the which makes me taxes on my chest. I'm on me, boy. I am stuck on you. Stuck on you. Oh, so naturally.
I need y'all breathing. Where y'all at?
Alright, listen. We're gonna get it.
Let's go inside.
Sex on the beach, let's get drinking in my cup, drinking baby, I'm in love, which makes me taxes on my chest, kicks on my neck, taking over me, boy. I am stuck on you, I am stuck on you, my love. I am stuck on you, oh so naturally, can't get enough of you. I am stuck on you, I am stuck on you, my love. I get enough of you, oh so naturally, I am stuck on you.
Take a shot at that sense of the beach. Show you the city of me. I'm sure the regardless of defeat. And when I be on beat, every time. Tell her the mama, my pretty white teeth. I love how you gloss, so I'm giving you pressure. See them in caution. I'm sick of the trust. Gonna get you together. I'm beating you. Beat your advantage. Your best one's up. Fresh out the shower, ready for a towel. Lost in that ass, I get ready for the wild. Got roses and petals, like over some flowers, yeah. You know it's nothing season. One that I told you, you said you would leave, but one that you love that you want to love.
You had no way. There is a rivalry. Look at me, so make me love. You want me, boy, make me burn me.
When I get inside, show you what I'm like. I care about this eyes, I care about this right. Show you how I feel. guys one last time, man.
Let's go!
Jiggy Bars, follow me on Instagram at Jiggy Bars, JIG. Let's tap in, let's network. Y'all beautiful. Make some noise, Chicago.
Second round of paint. If y'all ready for some more art, let me hear you make some more. My name is Rivera. Let me hear you make some noise. If you hear the camera's house, let me hear you make some noise. We're about to get into the second round, guys. Hold tight. Where my man's at? He's so gonna keep this night going.
Okay, so it looks like we are getting ready for round number 2 of this event for Art Battle Chicago. We're going to have another 6 awesome artists up at the easel with another 20 minutes on the clock. My name is Morgan Booth, and I am here with Art Battle artist and Art Battle Ottawa organizer Peter Purdy. Hi, Peter.
Hi. Yeah, wow, that was quite the intermission. I loved
Yeah.
hip hop and art battle just seems to go together so well.
Right? And that was Jiggy Bars, a local artist to Chicago. So if anybody's looking to follow him, he is Jiggy Bars on Instagram. But yeah, I love the Art Battle Chicago intermissions, I guess, extra performances. It just helps keep up the energy, and it's just adds such a good vibe to the event as well. So shout out to Jiggy Bars.
Yeah, feel like if I might have to step up my game after seeing that.
Yeah, it's really, really fun, and it works especially well on a weekend night too, when people are not overly concerned with the speed of the event.
Yes.
Nice and relaxed on a Friday here at Spin in Chicago for Art Battle round number 2, starting in just a few minutes. And we had a pretty awesome first round. I know there were definitely some favorites for me. As we're waiting for round number 2 to begin, I'm just I have one ear on audio with the venue. I'm gonna throw up our auction from round number 1 so that we can see all of the artists and all of the pieces that were created there. Who were your favorites from round number 1, Peter?
Well, Juju was really cool. I really enjoyed that piece. I'd love to get a better look at it and get up close, because I feel like there was a lot in there that that I just haven't been able to really pick out yet. And then I also loved that that one kind of reddish pink portrait. Trying to recall the artist's name.
That was Ricky Ross. I really like that piece too. I loved how hyper saturated it was, and I really liked the glowing aura. I thought that was cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I tend to paint in vivid colors as well, so that's probably why I'm drawn to it.
Mm-hmm. I actually really liked our wildcard artist too, the kind of stares into the sky. I thought that was a really interesting concept.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really draws you in, and Like, I want to know more. I want to know, where does the store go? Where is it? Because it looks like if you're in kind of a dark and dangerous place, but then there's this bright door that kind of seems safe and lovely.
Oh, I think here we are with our. I keep thinking that that we're getting our announcements happening. I think that was the call out for the wild card to come get their palette ready.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that can always be tough because, you know, during the intermissions or breaks or whatever you want to call them, like, some people are still smokers like myself and run out, and then, you know, so then you got to wait for them to come back into the venue, and then you're like, okay, you won, congratulations, and then whisk them away to make their palette. And
yeah. We love our artists, but we're getting artists to do things on a very specific schedule. Could be a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah. Sometimes you kind of wish you had like ankle trackers on them or something, and could just be like, oh yeah, no, he's outside. Somebody go get them.
Yeah, I've definitely had to run outside to call artists in and be like, the final is starting now, and you made it into the final.
Yeah, no, but the show seems to always go so smoothly. Like, I know that as organizers, we may feel that pressure, but nobody else does. Like,
yeah, for sure. It often comes off as that smooth art battle goodness that we all know and love.
That's it.
And it's always a really well-run event in Chicago. Their team is so strong. And the performer that we just had, Jiggy Bars, I think actually is an art battle volunteer. I think he's on the team that helps manage the events, which is really cool. So I love seeing all of this like multi-talented involvement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Again, you know, the community that we're building is just incredible. And like, I love the ties between the hip hop community, the graffiti and street artists, and the fine artists that are all starting to come together because of events like ours.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, it's so cool because you really, at Art Battle, you get an opportunity to see so many different artists from different kind of cliques across different communities. So because it's all application based and the organizers are just picking the best artists who apply, it's not organized the same way that a lot of art events are, where it's whoever knows whoever, or in curation terms of like which artists are going to look good together or have similarities. You really get an opportunity to see a wide breadth of different artists that come together who wouldn't usually.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That, and the fact that because it's up to the audience to choose who wins and goes on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've seen everything win now. I've seen portraits win often. I've seen landscapes win, even some abstracts, and which isn't easy on a small canvas.
Yeah.
And no, it really feels like if you know, if you come in and you try your best, it may take you a few times to to get to the level where you can win, even if you're a great artist or whatever. There's so many factors to it. But much like in martial arts or boxing, they say everybody has a puncher's chance. No matter how skilled you are as a martial artist, if you can hit them once, the right spot, it's hard enough to do it, you could win. And I feel like art battle can be the same way, that somebody relatively unknown can come in and actually advance further than somebody with a mile-long resume or.
That's so fun. I love that analogy. I'm gonna think about that all the time. I love the way that you said that. You just got to hit it the right way, because that's so true in art battle. Because sometimes some paintings just hit different and really respond to the audience. Oh,
yeah,
here
absolutely.
I'm gonna turn us down so we can get the artist announcement.
Number 3, with a distinct and slightly abstract style, love subjects in new and different ways. Let's show some love for Coco. Coming in at easel number 4. And really easy got the manners.
Right, we are about to get started. Jiggy, do you have 20 minutes on the timer? Before we get started, guys, we got a button to see. Let me see you on your feet. We need this human energy. We need this kinetic energy. We're going to make this circle. We're going, just like we did for the first round, we're going to keep that kinetic energy going. We're going to walk a little bit. We're going to see all of them. Who I see that, man? I like that shit. We're going to need all that kinetic energy. Move it around. Show us some love. You see something that you like? I like that shit. Jiggy, are you ready? I like that. All right.
All right, we are off for round number 2 of Art Battle in Chicago. 20 minutes on the clock. Who are we starting with here? We have Jamieson Flynn, and I believe that it is Jamieson's very first art battle. And I'm starting to see him going off with, looks like he's laying down some sketch there. And I think that the same is true for April Clark there. It actually looks like she's got a mechanical pencil.
Mm-hmm. And I love that we've opened up the competition to being able to use different mediums like this. I feel like it's making the artists more confident and bringing it closer to their own studio work.
Yeah, definitely. It just gives them more tools in their toolkit.
That's it. But it all eats up time, so you've got to be careful.
Wow. Good job, April. So that was a super quick sketch. I think that she laid down that sketch in only 60 seconds, and now onto the paint already. something that I think a lot of artists can kind of get bogged down in now that we've opened up the media is that initial laying down that initial sketch. I think it's really easy to spend too much time there. So April's doing great, got some paint on the canvas already.
Yeah, that's it. I find that I myself would probably get bogged down and be too worried about that initial sketch to the point where I'd look up and like half the time would be gone.
Same. Definitely same.
Running around, does anybody have an eraser? But
I love that. Yeah, it's so easy to get completely zoned in. Like, it's really quite the experience being around all of the audience's energy and all of that. But I know, at least for me, once the timer starts, that's just like you're in your own world.
oh yeah, I found that I had to stop listening to my own music while painting in art battles because I'd like just get lost. And then next thing you know, somebody would be tapping me like 5 minutes. Like, oh crap.
I think I remember doing that to you. Okay, so Jamieson, he's now started adding paint onto the canvas. We've got kind of this abstracted blue shape now. And Jamieson is really well known for creating these kind of surreal, flowy compositions. So definitely getting some of that flowiness. And then Coco Karma here. Peter, why don't you describe what's going on over here?
Yeah, it looks like we got a classic sunset coming in with these warm colors. Very Caribbean feeling, if you will. Now, I don't know if she meant to hit that with the green or if her painting wet on wet has created it a little muddy. We'll have to see.
Yeah, always the challenge. I feel like she might be blending that into a gradient. But again,
Yeah.
I'm loving seeing this hyper saturation, but then she's got a little bit more of a subdued color in the bottom half of the canvas. So I feel like this is going to be a landscape, but I'm so used to seeing more figurative stuff from Coco Karma. But this artist really likes to kind of throw us some curveballs with like surreal elements too. So we'll have to see where this goes.
Very cool. Yeah, I definitely am getting a landscape vibe, but you know, still lots of time. She may put a figure within that landscape.
Mm-hmm. And then who are we going over to now? I think that this is, here we are with Bryce Stoick. And he describes his work as having a goal of creating an emotional response from the viewer.
Nice.
And this is his first art battle.
Well, he's already achieved a lot for his first time. Like he's right on point when it comes to getting that information on there.
Yeah, I feel like there's some good time management from Bryce here. A lot of the canvas is covered, and then it looks like he's going to be executing some sort of portrait. So I think that probably the next 15 minutes are going to be spent honing that. And then here we have Jeff Coons, and another artist who seems to really be using this time really well. So 5.5 minutes in, initial sketch, background fully covered.
Yeah, and then coming back in, reinforcing that sketch so you don't lose it through the washes. And I love those background colors, like the warm and the cold, pushing back and forth.
Yeah, kind of got some painterly action going on in the background, and then laying over top. So Jeff is traditionally in his studio an oil painter. So I bet that this kind of layering ability is something that he's not really used to.
Yeah, fair enough.
And then, of course, our wild card, Batman. So we were also seeing Batman doing a little pop and lock in while we were getting the countdown there. So Batman's bringing the good vibes.
Right on. How could you not with that hat, right? Like that hat is half the show right there.
Yeah, I never pictured Batman in a checkered bucket hat, but here we are.
He's vibing though. He's feeling it.
Oh yeah, we've got some. We've got such dance moves going on from Batman, and I'm laughing with him, not at him, because I'm just having so much fun watching him creating that. Okay, and here we are back with April Clark. I really dig these geometric elements that are going over top of this portrait. That's kind of an unusual approach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really kind of fractures the canvas and is now taking it into something like more fantastical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's really like kind of using the geometric shapes and having them going off of the face as well is playing with kind of the different planes as well. Because usually
with the overlapping line.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And I got
interesting palette with the greens and then those warm geometric shapes.
Yeah, I gotta say that I'm digging it. Simon has coined the term bluist as for artists who love blue, and I'm our resident bluist. So every time I see a cool toned portrait like this with some red, I'm like, I love it. And everyone then points out that yes, Morgan, of course you love it. It's your palette, so it's the palette that I use. We're always drawn to what we're used to, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, this is cool from Jamieson. He's going in. We'll see if we swing back around there. Oh, we see April going in with a Sharpie now. That's interesting.
Oh yeah.
I'm always wondering, because I feel like we're seeing so many artists lately going in with marker or permanent marker over top of their paintings, and I always wonder about the marker getting gooed up with paint.
Yeah. I remember Dom Laporte was once competing when we opened up allowing paint markers to be used, but although they were labeled as acrylic Malto markers, they still had some kind of a alcohol in them to keep it flowing, I guess.
Yeah.
And then so when he applied it, it actually all started turning silver and almost bubbly.
Oh,
and yeah, it was really. Yeah, and nobody expected it to happen, but you got to make sure that they're compatible.
So, Peter, I think that we're getting another mirror painting with Jamieson here. That's the impression that I'm getting. I think that this is a mirror image. We've got like this kind of mountainous old man face abstract. And I think that there's the old man face coming from the bottom, too.
Very cool.
And here we are with Coco Karma. And you were right. We got a landscape rockin'. Definitely getting that Caribbean tropical vibes with the palms and the way that they're creating that silhouette against the sunset there.
Mm-hmm.
So 9 minutes.
Shadow.
Yeah, 9 minutes left on the clock. For everybody out there watching, voting is open for round number 2 now. So make sure that if you're not already registered, you go to artbattle.com/vote. The top 2 artists from each qualifying round will move on to a third Showdown round where they will paint again. So not only are you voting for whose art you think is best in the round, but you're also voting for who you really enjoyed watching paint and who you want to watch paint again. Ooh, I'm digging this piece from Jeff. I really like this almost like lilac-y color that's been introduced into the skin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was just getting lost in that myself. Really creates volume, eh? And those cheeks having that cooler color pushing the chin back behind the cheeks, and
yeah, I know what you mean about getting lost. I'm literally sitting here with my hand on my chin going like, huh, because I'm just so interested in the way that Jeff is using color here.
oh, are we seeing a recreation of, but
Well,
in reverse of our other wild card painting?
Batman, so sassy. That's so fun. I've never seen that, and I feel like that's so cheeky. So
It is.
The impression I would say that we both have right now is that our second round wild card is now recreating. We're taking his own spin on the painting that the round one wild card did. This is pun intended wild.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is so
Yeah, I don't know if he'll be able to pull it off as well, though.
I know we only have 7 minutes left.
Yeah, already I'm kind of seeing some elements that are, might be a little shaky. Might be.
Yeah, if you're gonna riff on somebody's idea, you better come to the same quality.
That's it.
April's really killing it with this piece. I don't always love a black outline, but because she has such a high level of saturation in that portrait, the way that she's using those colors, I really am digging that. I'm also laughing at our dance performance from Batman here.
Yeah, no, he's
vibing.
Yeah, no, we got to get him to paint more.
And we often get asked why our audience can't hear the music from the venue. It's just because of copyright issues. So really, as you're watching Batman, you can just project any song that's stuck in your head at him right now and just envision that beautiful dance. But yeah, great job from April here.
Yeah, I'm loving this. It reminds me of the work of Ottawa's own Cal Cadan.
Oh,
you
true.
probably remember Cal.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
Very similar in structure and in palette, but it's a very feminine character. I like it.
Yeah, me too. The structure of the face is kind of giving me like a Nefertiti bust.
Mm-hmm.
Like very sculptural in its angularity, and then over top of that we have those geometric shapes. So this piece is really quite contemporary. Really enjoying that. And then of course here we are with Jamieson and this super like intuitive, surreal painting. I really love how it's all wash underneath.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much line work going on, but it's so minimalist at the same time. I like it.
It is. I wasn't quite sure how I felt with so much negative space that's being left behind, and that this kind of like mass is kind of just hovering on top of the canvas.
Yeah.
But when you see the details that he's putting into this, it's quite something.
Yeah, the negative space gives you that, like, I agree with you. I'm not always a fan of having tons of negative space, but I think the way that it's used here is really intentional, and this like creature thing is definitely looks like it's floating. And all of the negative space that's around it just kind of goes to underline how strange it is. There's definitely an intentional strangeness.
Yeah, yeah.
And then...
Well, 3 minutes left, so maybe, I don't know, maybe he will start coming in now with the background coloration, or...
Right after we just talk about how much we like that he said nothing.
Isn't that the way, though? Like, I know, even while I was painting, you know, and you could hear the audience talking, and, you know, you'd hear some, you know, usually it's like, oh, wow, that, you know, love how they did that. And then they'll come back around and they'll see how much you've changed it. And they're like, oh, well, I didn't like it as much anymore. Then they come back around and they're like, oh, now I get it. You know,
I
so
know, you always just want to reach out and grab their brush and be like, no, stop, I like it here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's one of the hardest parts about painting too, is knowing when you're done.
Yeah, definitely. Especially even in 20 minutes, you really wouldn't think that you have an opportunity to overpaint, but you definitely do. Looks like Coco Karma is just adding a signature here now, I think. So great time management from Coco here. Really enjoying that this piece, there's a depth to it, but there's also, I think, an intentional flatness of the way that the elements are rendered.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot to it, that's for sure. Can't really see all the details at the moment.
Yeah, it looks like maybe we're getting some water element here.
Mm-hmm.
2 minutes.
Yeah, I was gonna say what it needs is some kind of like a path or something, but now it does look like if she's put some figures in there as well to kind of give you a sense of perspective.
Mm-hmm. Help bring us into the composition.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if we'll get a last minute look at what Bryce and Jeff have done. There are easel 4 and 5 artists. Last time we saw Bryce, he had that super just different blues all over the canvas, kind of surrounding this this head that had not been fully rendered yet. We were kind of wondering where that was going to go.
Right.
I'm willing our camera person mentally right now.
Right. I can understand too, because I know too, like in covering events that I've, you know, you get into what this one artist is doing, and next thing you know, you haven't given the other artists as much time as you would have liked.
Yeah, you get kind of stuck in the painting that you're most interested in viewing. Oh wow! I did not see this going this way, and I really like it.
Yeah, you really chiseled that brow line and nose.
Okay, I think that is our timer. Our 20 minutes have elapsed. Oh wow, look at how beautiful this piece is from Jeff. There's so much. I think you had said that something special about this piece was the volume, and you're absolutely right.
Yeah, no, I think that might be my favorite piece of the round, honestly.
This is so fun. It's so funny.
Yeah, it's kind of like
it's an inverse.
I guess the nighttime version of the other door. Now somebody could buy them both and be like bookends.
That's so fun. Batman's so sassy. Oh, and April, this, so I think that Jeff has one of the best pieces in the round, and I think April is coming for him with this portrait.
Yeah, that's brilliantly executed.
And then as we get closer, we can see that I think that April used some metallic paint markers in there too. So getting some awesome reflective elements in some of the line work. That was a good way to use up some of the negative space that she had going on.
Mm-hmm.
This piece is so weird, and I like it. I really like how weird it is.
Mm-hmm. It reminds me of an album cover.
Yeah, totally.
Like, from some band from the 60s or something like that. And
yeah, the band that was definitely doing a lot of LSD.
yeah.
I really a detail that I didn't notice from this piece from Jamieson is the shadow, the little tiny bit of wash that was placed under there to just emphasize that it's floating. Really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then Coco Karma here.
Best name.
Yeah.
She wins best name.
And cool the way that all of that grass was added in at the last minute over top of the warm foreground that she had going on. I like that layering. And then Bryce really brought it together.
I almost get like a Romero kind of Joker feeling from back in the, the original TV show.
Yeah,
very
definitely cool. With that. Ugh, and then this piece from Jeff is just like, it's so killer. There's so many different, really interesting elements. The way that he's rendered the volume of the face here, all of the unconventional color choices, this like, they're little hits of fluorescence.
Yeah, and the the bringing the background color into the flesh as well, and
then I can't help but laugh when we see this piece. It's so smart though, because it makes the audience feel included. It's kind of, he's making an inside joke with basically everybody in the room that like, okay, so you've already seen this and now here's a callback to that.
Right. Let me bite on that, eh?
Yeah. I bet that that's going to cause some controversy, and somehow I don't think that Batman minds.
yeah, I have a feeling that you're right there.
So now is a good time to emphasize to everybody that's watching that all of these pieces are available for silent auction as well. So if you're digging some of these works as much as we are, make sure that you vote for these works, or bid on these works and vote as well. The top two artists as voted by the audience will move on with the top two from round one into a third round final. Oh, and looks like we're actually getting a performance from Jeff. Okay, I'm going to throw to venue audio. It was gone. But I do believe that we will be getting a musical performance from Jeff. Strong battle here tonight. Lots of cool works and in varying levels of seriousness, I think, which is cool. Lots of really interesting pieces created here tonight, and with varying levels of kind of seriousness, which I think is interesting. Seriousness not necessarily in the approach of the execution, but I think there's some pieces here that are have some whimsy in them. Like our rooster piece from Elizabeth Shen, I feel like that has a little bit of a humor with the crazy eyes on the rooster, and just the way that it was done. I think it's really fun. And then of course the the call between our wild card painters and the way that our wild card in round number 2, Batman, decided to kind of create an inverse of the round number 1 painting by round number 1 wild card in Elisa. So that's really fun. I think that we're just really enjoying the art spirit here tonight at Art Battle Chicago. Lots of really, really great works done tonight. Lots of super saturated colors, lots of careful light and shadow work. So it's definitely going to be hard to predict which artists are going to be moving forward into the 3rd and final round. So once again, you guys got to head over to artbattle.com/vote. That's where you will pick your favorite artists. The top 2 artists, as voted by the audience, will be moving forward from round number 1 and round number 2 into a 4-artist final showdown, where they will get another canvas and another 20 minutes on the clock, and one artist will then be crowned the winner of the evening. And winners of individual events actually go on in the tournament. So these are not isolated events. All of the events that happen in Chicago, usually once a month, will lead up to a Chicago City final at the end of this season, where one artist will be chosen to move on to nationals and battle other artists from all across the country. And then once we go into nationals, the winner of the nationals goes into internationals to battle artists from different countries. So it's really, it doesn't just start and stop here. There's lots of amazing opportunity for growth and ascension within the Art Battle tournament. So it really is important that you guys vote, because that's the first step of sending these artists on their journeys. All of these pieces are also available for silent auction. If you are loving any of these pieces and want to start collecting them, they are offered at a really affordable price starting off at Art Battle. So definitely a good opportunity to add to your collection. We will ship these works to you. You don't have to be in the room to be bidding on them. We are just waiting for the votes to be counted. And our final 4 artists to be determined for round number 3. The top 2 artists from round number 1 and round number 2 will be going into a 4-artist final with another 20 minutes on the clock, another blank canvas, and another opportunity to see the best of the night paint again. 1 artist will be crowned the winner. We are just waiting for our team in the venue to get that all set up and for you guys to finish voting. So make sure that you get your votes in. Every vote counts.
I'm loving how the auction is scrolling over the video, I gotta say. Most impressive.
That is all Simon. All of this live stream goodness is thanks to our battle co-founder Simon. So he and Chris Pemberton came up with the idea for Art Battle, but Simon's also a tech whiz too, and so he's figured out all of these cool processes for us to be able to bring Art Battle to everybody in internet land. And he's come up with this cool auction scroll as well.
Yeah, it's a brilliant idea.
Looks like we're getting our easels reset, and I believe that our next musical performance is actually going to be by Jeff Coons, who we just saw paint in round number 2.
Oh, wow.
So imagine going through all of the exhilaration of doing your 20-minute painting and then going into a musical performance, and then after that there's the possibility that you have to paint in the final.
Yeah, I think I'd sleep 2 days after that.
Yeah, me
I'd
too.
just be so like out of creativity, and like I couldn't order a coffee the next day.
Yeah. Just I need a Red Bull just thinking about that intensity for Jeff. So that's what I've been told. So hopefully that goes through and we'll be able to see Jeff rock a performance and live this vicarious intensity through him.
That's it. Yeah, there's quite a few people at the event too. It's such a large venue. It's hard to tell because everybody's spread out.
Enormous. And this room is only one of like 4 rooms. And
Wow.
there's a whole first floor as well. So there's probably like way like more people that have gone to the bar right now. The bar's in a different room. But it's such a giant, enormous venue.
Yeah, it's like it used to be a Target or something. I don't know.
I would not be surprised. It's so big. And there's so many things. Yeah.
Blockbuster Video.
That'd be an enormous blockbuster. That'd be a long way to chase your ping pong ball.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Let's hope there's no stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
The murals are very cool.
Yeah, very cool.
Amazing paintings, man. Big shout out to Candace House. You know what I'm saying? Performance, y'all ready to see another live performance? Cool, is definitely gonna need some energy, some human energy. Building up this space, scoot up a little bit. You feel me? Because we all human and we need that human energy. You feel me? This next artist who's about to come up here and bless the stage is actually in the battle tonight. Can we make some noise for that? My man's went crazy, man. I actually got in tune with bro about a few months ago at this show that we did at the Wild Hare, and man, he just snaps, man. He has dope ass music. He's an extremely talented, creative. So, man, I want y'all to give him a warm welcoming. Everybody make some noise for Jeff Cool.
Yo. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? go by the name of Jeff Coons, multidisciplinary. Is that multidisciplinary? Let's do that. I do this music shit. I do this art shit. I'm just an advocate for creation. You dig what I'm saying? Much love. Make some noise for all the artists in here. Y'all don't know how it is to do this in front of all y'all beautiful people. You dig what I'm saying? Bless y'all with some music, and we're gonna get it going, man. Make some noise. Yes, sir. I need that music as loud as it can go, without, because I'm not paying for it. Yeah. Put one hand up if you can hear me. Yeah. Let's do it. Okay. Did I be smoking on, knock your lungs out, make your eyes tight, and I keep the tree on me. Oh, boom, got me coming just like under canopies. Yeah, I wrote this shit while taking one, let you know that I really ain't trying to. I can do this shit while sitting. I can see you flexing, work on skills that can't be sharpened. I'm a blade, you a lame. Don't move the water, when it's wet, I go harder. I'm a martyr, what I'm doing. Pussy, I took my slaughter. Before that, I hit it with a slobber. I can take care of my shit. Colors, so many colors. I painted them, then I said it now. Hear me clear. Clear, quick. This time around, see, I got some different peers. Eat your money for the bitch for your focus. Niggas hard to Coons like they want their money. Money find everything you lack. Passion in the drive is probably what we should be greater if I delegate. I need percentages, my slice. I ain't cause I know this ain't piece of game. On every beat they let me slide. Gucci, make a figure eight, make the state like orders, yeah. I'm gonna leave me growing, plus the sun like ultra. Like, keep me on point and on sight, like construction. Work with it, change the difficulty, yeah. I'm pulling you. On my windshield, no belt today. Colors, so many colors. I paint a picture with my sisters and my brothers, yeah. Then I study now, now hear me clear. Listen up, clear course from ear to ear. This time around, see I got some different peers. Shit is closer than it seem up in the sphere, yeah. Get your money for the bitch where your focus at. All the patient raps some greatness, well, I'm proud of you, yeah. All the patient raps some greatness, well, I'm proud of you, yeah. Yeah. Thank y'all very much. I appreciate y'all energy. I ain't gonna do too much. You dig what I'm saying? But y'all can follow me at _JEFFKOON. You dig what I'm saying? JEFFKOONZ. That shit you gonna find me. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
One more time, come on, man, Jeff Coole! He said, we got to tour him a few months ago, and just something about your vibe, bro, like, it's just obviously a young man that had out for not only the baby, but, you know, let's get him on right into the third round, the championship round, if y'all ready for that, let me hear you. Some people ready for that. Hey, yo, I got the winner. Y'all ready for it? Yeah. All right, from the first round, we got a first timer making that
that shit. I need one more round of applause. Come on. It takes to come up here, a lot of moxie to come up here and paint in front of people, put yourself out there. I want a round of applause for Michelle. And again, from the first round, coming back, we got Juju. Man, if y'all were just around for let me hear you make some noise. Let's go. We got 2 people from the second round too. Dance. Y'all just heard him. Congratulations on making it to the championship. Y'all ready for the last one? I think you make some noise. Some people are in the room. So for the last round, we got popping and crown the champion. Y'all ready for the third round? Yeah! Hey, let's go. Demon, you can cut it back up over here. I appreciate y'all. So all of my championship contestants, I can get you guys over to the pink table right now to get your ballots going. We're going to get this round started.
And for our finalist artists have been announced. From round number 1, we have Michelle Rivera and Juju moving forward. And from round number 2, we have Jeff Coons and April Clark. Big congratulations to these artists. Definitely they deserve to be going forward into the final. All 4 of them just did really wonderful works. Really excited to have the opportunity to see them paint again in the final, where they will have a new canvas, another 20 minutes on the clock. From round number 1, Michelle Rivera was the artist that did that black and white figure with the last minute fluorescent fuchsia thrown on at the end that really made that pop. And then, of course, Juju, who did his signature character, always a really interesting multi-layered style with that kind of urban influence. And then from round number 2, moving forward, we have Jeff Koons, who did that just absolutely incredible female portrait of the woman in the headdress. And then gave us that awesome musical performance, and now is going into the final. So totally badass, Jeff. Good job. And then April, who is actually a first-time art battle artist, and she has made it to the final round on her very first try. So great job, April. April did that geometric green and blue and red portrait in the second round. So can't wait to see them paint again.
Yeah, no. Each one of these artists, could go away with the win tonight. That's for sure. I'm excited to see what they're going to do. If they're going to, carry on the theme of what they had already done in their first piece, or if they're going to change it up completely.
Yeah, that's always the kind of the strategy question, right? Are you going to paint what got you into the final that the audience has already responded to? Or are they going to be tired of that? They've already seen you do that. Or are you going to do something completely different and then maybe lose that fan base or surprise them and get them even more involved in your work? It's definitely a risk either way.
Yeah. Tricky situation. But, you got to take a chance, especially in the final round. You're up against the best of the night.
What's your strategy as an artist going into the final?
I usually try to keep in the same realm of what I was doing before. Maybe if I did a landscape, maybe I'll change it to more of a cityscape, or if I'm doing a portrait, maybe I'll do one female, one male, or something like that, hoping that somebody will buy them both.
Yeah, it's like different enough that it's impressive in a different way, but similar enough that your audience still connects with it.
That's it. And ultimately, like, I want in all my work, be a art battle painting or in the studio, like, I always want people to know it's me. I don't really, like, I love to experiment with painting, but not in these situations. Like, I'd rather try to show my best of what I do, because if I get a commission or something like that from this, I don't want them to expect me to paint something that I don't do.
Yeah, definitely. It's you want your hand to be evident.
That's it.
And for anybody that is out there that is an artist watching, we are always taking applications, and we have Art Battle all over the world, all over the US, all over Canada, so many different countries, all across the world. And all you need to do is go to artbattle.com/apply. We love meeting new artists. And as you can see tonight, we have a new artist that has made it all the way to the final already. So, take a chance.
Yeah.
Apply.
And against some big guns, like, with no cakewalk. Like you said, a former national champ.
Yeah, Juju, former, not national champ, but he did represent LA in the nationals. Right. And I think was a finalist. No. But yeah, just super. There's some really wild stuff going on tonight. We're having a great time. We've got a newbie in the final. We've got a nationals competitor in the final. We have Jeff, who just threw down a musical performance in between painting in round number 2 and now going into the final. And then Michelle, of course, who loves to throw us those absolutely stunning color curveballs. Okay, throw into venue audio. You keep getting teased by our MC. I can hear it in my ear that he's saying, "Okay, we're gonna announce everybody," and then I turn it up and I'm like, "Oh no, it's copywritten music."
Oh no.
Never mind. Let me turn that back down.
Yeah, when we televised one of our battles on a local station, that was the hardest part, was trying to find a decent music that wasn't copywritten. And actually our DJ of the night, John, did an amazing job kind of remixing some oldies and classics, and it was he was up for the challenge. It was cool.
Okay, actually MC going now.
They went there, they going over the national art of their art, and that shit for any artist is so feeling. So let's give it up one time for all these championship artists. Come on, give it.
We could see our final round artists just stepping up to the easels, making their final height adjustments, getting into the zone, shaking their shoulders out.
Yeah, it appears as though they are working on a larger canvas this time. Maybe.
And all of them so
40.
far. Yeah, and all of them so far, I think just because of the setup, are set up in landscape format. So interested to see who decides to flip that around.
Mm-hmm. I had a teacher once tell me that landscape, for some reason, people tend to buy more, not necessarily landscape paintings, but having the wide be the width.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it looks better over a couch. I don't know.
That's a good point. Yeah, a lot of people are always looking to fill up that blank wall in their house, and great time as any to help plug the online auction. At that link that's on the screen there, upbattle.com/vote, it's not only your voting link, but it's also your bid link. So all of the works that have been created are also available for silent auction. So get in there and take some of these works home. We will ship them to you. Okay, officially 20 minutes on the clock for our final 4 artists. From round number 1, move forward Michelle, Rivera, and Juju. And from round number 2, we had Jeff Coons and April Clark. It looks like we're seeing Jeff starting off with some spray paint here.
Yeah, it's nice to see. Because of our venue restrictions, we haven't been able to use the new acrylic water-based sprays, but I'm really interested in watching it.
Yeah, it's just literally 50 seconds into the round, and Jeff has his whole background covered. So this is part of the added beauty of these new open material rules. And looks like Jeff is no stranger to using cans either. Yeah. Good control there. I wonder if Jeff spent like the first 2 minutes before just shaking his can. That's what I'd be doing.
Yeah. Somebody's going to invent something to do that for you.
Oh my gosh, I know. That's all. I think about it every time. And here we are with April, and looks like April's taking a much different approach than we saw in her initial piece. Lots of these kind of washing colors, whereas April's first round piece or second round, her qualifying piece was very tight. So this is much more flowing.
Yeah, and directional. Like I feel like these contours are going to build into something else.
Yeah,
quickly.
Definitely. We're directional is such a great word for it. So much this like scooping movement is reminding me of water or wind, and we're getting these kind of, again, those sunsetty colors.
Yeah, almost like in a like a fisheye lens being kind of distorted. Yeah, that's sure.
Yeah, I can't wait to see where April goes with that. And again, a big congratulations to April for moving on to the final round in her very first battle.
Yeah, that's a win in itself, I think.
Absolutely. And then we have Juju here. Looks like he's executing another one of his characters, kind of getting the sense of those heavy-lidded eyes that Juju does.
Well, that's it, right? And, you know, when you get to a certain level of being an artist and you start getting known, especially I find like with a lot of street artists and muralists that do character works, that people want to collect those. It's a lot harder to cut out a piece of wall from an alleyway and put it on your wall. But this it's a cheat. I love it.
Yeah, it's like once you get to that point where your style is dialed in enough that it's recognizable, I think that's the point where your work becomes collectible for being your work and not just a piece that is something that's visually interesting. It's like people start to want to collect your work because it looks like your work.
That's right.
And Juju's definitely got that going on.
I always try to stress it with our painters too. It's like, this is a great opportunity to show what you like to do. And I understand with time constraints and materials, like my default mode is like when I don't know what to do, it's like Bob Ross 101, landscape, default. But oh wow, I'm liking this monochromatic piece.
Yeah, stunning for Michelle. Just a really, I'm really enjoying how angular these shadows are.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a really interesting crop too. The way that just the lowest half of the face is showing, it really adds kind of this air of mystery to these pieces.
So true.
And just as we were talking earlier about kind of creating these companion pieces, I'm definitely getting a sense that this piece is in the same world as Michelle's qualifying round piece. It'll be cool to see if she goes with the same colors or something different.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the way she's using her brushes like a chisel to create those sharp angles.
Yeah, totally.
I'm a big fan of big brushes.
Yeah, I love seeing artists going in with those flats, and you can see them. A flat is, we're going into like art nerd speak now, but a flat is just so versatile because you can cover so much ground with it, and then if you just turn it on its side, you can get such beautiful sharp lines. So Michelle definitely knows what she's doing here.
Yeah. And I'm loving these, cold gray tones. And personally, like I always, when it comes to the human figure, like there's certain things that always kind of, to me, talks about attitude, and placement of shoulders and hips.
Great point.
And I feel like this is kind of a relaxed pose. There's not a lot of tension here. It's and the broad shoulders.
Yeah, there's like a quiet confidence going on with this figure. And I'm really, I'm sure that it's being emphasized by the angle that we're on with our camera as well, but I actually really like the exaggerated broadness of the shoulder. It just creates a more interesting body silhouette.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like we're getting a male portrait from Jeff here. And I gotta say, this has got to be some extended adrenaline.
Yeah.
Because we just saw, not only did we just see Jeff paint in round number 2, but then he did a musical performance in between, and then was voted into the final.
Renaissance man.
Yeah, so cool.
Next, he's going to make everybody omelets.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, this is a striking portrait. I love how the figure is foreshortened and small compared to the head.
Yeah, it's a good position compositionally. And then we're getting the figure going through these different tones in the background too.
Yeah.
And then doing that layering over top to create the skin tones that we love so much. And I love that Jeff also has a brush hanging out of his mouth too.
Yes.
So
I would always stick them in my man bun, and then I'd like forget about it. I'd be halfway home, and I'd be like, "Oh, I forgot to wash out that brush." So it's been stuck in my hair for 2 hours.
I've definitely seen you do that. And April here, bringing in, so very, very different piece than what we saw her create initially. However, we are getting kind of this callback with these circles and these undulating lines. We saw some of that line work surrounding the portrait that she had initially done.
Yeah, it's very, fantastic, kind of surreal. Like, I don't know if they're clouds. I don't know if they're like tentacles, but I like it.
Yeah, like definitely where we saw April working in a tighter manner in the first round. This is definitely more of an intuitive mark making kind of situation.
Mm-hmm.
So we're about halfway through the round now. Voting should be open at artbattle.com/vote. If you have not registered yet, make sure that you do so. One artist will be winning the event title out of these 4 artists. So make sure that you vote. Every vote counts. And the artists actually move forward into city finals. Winner of that goes into nationals. Winner of that goes into internationals. So this is really just the start of one of these artists' journeys. So make sure that you vote. What are you thinking here, Peter?
Well, I feel like if like it's still early, but I feel like if he's struggling with this piece in comparison to the last one seemed to really just flow out of the brush. I feel like this character has kind of like bounced around a little bit, like in its refinement.
Yeah, it's
like
not flowing as quickly.
Yeah, like not as intuitive, but still very cool. I'm digging these eyes.
Yeah, I like this this color. I'm really pleased with our team for putting this color on the paint table tonight. This like super pinky red.
Yeah,
we've just seen so much of it, and I'm really digging it.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to add it to our kit as well. Like I'm a stickler for the old Masters palette of muddy browns and but this is really so vibrant. I love it.
Ooh, and speaking of vibrant, so Michelle has decided to add a very similar color to her qualifying piece. I almost would have loved to see something in a different color family, but there's still an opportunity for her to create some of those contrasts, or if the goal is to be really truly a companion piece, we'll see her bring in even more of her previous influences there.
Yeah, because even the figure is facing the same way. I believe. I would have liked to have seen that reversed and facing the opposite way, just as a companion piece. So if they were to be displayed together. But I guess this being a much larger canvas, you wouldn't do that anyways. You'd probably, even if you bought them both, you'd display them in different locations. But
great time to plug the auction. And so if you guys are digging these pieces and you want to figure out how you would hang them in your home, would you hang them together? Would you hang them in a different room? Would they call to each other? Artbattle.com/vote is your voting link, but it's also your bidding link. So these works are all available for silent auction. You don't have to be in the room to collect them. We will ship them to you. All right, 5.5 minutes left on the clock. I love the way that Jeff has approached these skin tones. We're getting kind of this glow.
Yeah, I was just in awe of that. With that background color kind of bleeding through and becoming the highlights. It's very sharp.
That's cool. Such a great technique.
Yeah, might have to play with that myself.
No, right? Both of us, we kind of have like a silent moment. We're both considering, like, how am I going to do that?
and I gotta say, I love this ghostly figure underneath that blue, and where the body's contorted and twisted and, out of proportion, but it sits right. It really.
Yeah, it has like an otherness that just makes it so much more interesting. Like the proportions being skewed slightly. I dig the hair as well. I almost hope that he leaves it that raw. I feel like April's having a little bit of a hard time with this wet on wet.
Yeah, I agree. She's managed to get some beautiful blending and gradients in there, but I also feel like this is a very exploratory piece, and technique is coming as fast as she can think of it. I don't know if she came in with this original game plan, if this is a recreation of a studio piece, or
I'm definitely getting the sense that this is more intuitive mark making, and so she's kind of going with the flow here, which can be a difficult thing to deal with in art battle because 20 minutes can actually be a really long time.
Yeah.
If you're layering wet on wet, it can you can build up a lot very quickly, and then you have to kind of learn how to wrangle that. So I think that that's maybe what April is dealing with right now. But again, really beautiful use of color here, and the movement that she had established with that kind of striations of color was really nice.
Absolutely. And now, it being her first battle, perhaps she didn't think she would make it to the final round, didn't come with a game plan, and has decided, this is something she wanted to try at some point, and, no time like the present.
Yeah, I'm definitely enjoying the directionality here. And I feel like she's bringing in more opacity the more that she's layering that white over top.
Mm-hmm. As well as some darker under shading.
Yeah, the purple stroke underneath that kind of S-shape is nice.
Yeah, I'd like to see either knock that back a bit, or I'll start bringing it in a little bit more elsewhere.
Yeah, to harmonize it. And I love that she's using her hand as her palette. I always love seeing that. That was one of my moves back in the day.
Oh yeah.
That and wiping my brushes on my pants. It was very involved.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's text in here from Juju. Can you see what that says?
No, I can't.
I've got. Let me see if he'll move a little bit. See the world. It's all about politics, but what changes the most? Oh, interesting. I feel like this piece has definitely come together a lot in the last few minutes.
Yeah.
And I think that that's probably because of the introduction of the marker. So he's not using the marker now, but we definitely missed some marker work. And that was where this piece really tightened up a lot, I think.
I agree.
30 seconds left on the clock.
Nobody stepped away early yet in this this competition.
Oh, true. Yeah, we usually have at least one person who does what I like to call a brush drop. Okay, here's our countdown coming up. So it looks like we are just into our final seconds. Oh, I like these orangey highlights from Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that marks the end of our final round of Art Battle Chicago. Some pretty dope pieces in this round, I would say. Oh, is that a metallic?
Yeah, I think it might be a little bit of gold.
Nice, I like that. That little hit on the collarbone just does it.
I love how, you know, what would have been considered craft has really come into the fine arts.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, he totally changed that whole took
So-
that figure out and turned it into like a turtleneck.
Yeah, so cool. Look at all of these splats. I dig it. I don't think splat is the technical term, but that's what I'm going with. We can see our April is battling with her name tag there.
Oh yes. You know, those name tags are being great for us, but at the same time, they're a pain because like half the time the canvas covers them or knocks it off, or
Yeah. I'm really into Juju's palette for this piece.
yeah.
See the world.
fraction.
See the world is all about politics, but what changes are made. Tired, help, ideas. Wow. It's Juju's work comes across as having so much playfulness because of the execution of the figures, but then there's there's often so much political content in there. Really cool juxtaposition.
Which I love. You know, a lot of people shy away from making a statement about today's political environment, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always like, you know, back in the day we had a few Trump paintings done and stuff like that, but for the most part, people kind of shied away from politics, and you know, I'm a political minded person, and I think, you know, this is a great opportunity to raise awareness.
Yeah, a great opportunity to make a statement, and to also see how that resonates with the audience. I'm just loving this portrait. It's so good.
Yeah, it really is something special.
Yeah. And then he's dancing. How do you still have energy, Jeff? So we're getting our votes in. only one artist will emerge the winner of tonight's event. One of these 4 artists will be moving on and forward to the Chicago City Finals at the end of the season. So make sure that you guys go to artbattle.com/vote and cast your vote for these artists. Who do you think killed it the most tonight? Who did you enjoy painting? We would love to hear from you in the comments. So please let us know. Who do you think should win, and what was your favorite moment of the night? What was your favorite art moment of the night, Peter?
Oh, well, the second wild card really put a smile on my face.
Batman.
Yeah.
So good.
But in general, like, what I really enjoyed about this battle was that, everybody kind of was doing their own thing. Sometimes there's overlap, like not necessarily even planned, but where basically you have 2 artists doing the exact same subject matter at the same time. And like, I felt like each one of these pieces were so diverse.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you could and you could see their influences as well, and I really enjoy that.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like all of these artists were really doing a great job honoring their studio styles as well. I didn't feel like any of the artists were doing any kind of vote pandering. I felt like everybody was coming to the easel with their own originality.
Yeah, and it's fun, like vote pandering. I've never really heard of it that way, but I know what you mean. I've certainly.
We've all seen it.
We've all seen it, and I'm not against it. Don't get me wrong.
No, it's a strategy in its own right.
Yep. But I know that even best laid plans, right? Like, I know that I've brought some battles. I brought friends and thinking like, oh, I'm going to get all their votes. And then I don't even end up voting for myself because there's just one piece that's so spectacular,
I've definitely been in that situation too, where you're like, so for our audience, everybody gets one vote, including the artists. And we always encourage the artists to vote for the best painting. And if that's yourself, then absolutely go for it. You can definitely vote for yourself. But Peter, I know your struggle. I've been in that position too, where I've been like, mine's not the best. It just isn't. Then you vote for somebody else.
And no, I can't get over these the art battle logo and the auction being like, I almost feel like it's the end credits. And like,
yeah.
Is this like a Marvel movie? Is there going to be a little teaser afterwards? Or
yeah.
or Star Wars, like a long time ago in an art battle far, far away.
So good. I gotta say, a sleeper piece for me that I actually really enjoyed was Jamieson Flynn's piece, that the floating mass of faces. It's so weird, but that weirdness and its commitment to its own weirdness is what made me really like it.
Yeah, that one came out of nowhere. Honestly, like, due to the screen size and camera angle and all that, for the majority of the time that he was painting, I wasn't getting it, and it wasn't until we got that nice close-up shot at the end of the round that I really was able to take in just how incredibly skilled this artist is.
And that's part of the challenge of Art Battle as well, is that not only do you have to make a really great piece, but you also have to make a piece that translates from a distance.
Mm-hmm.
like if you do a hyper detailed piece and it only looks great up close, that's not going to translate to the audience. That's not going to communicate and grab the audience.
Right. Well, and again, with Art Battle, the beauty is that these aren't necessarily like audiences that made up of experts and fellow artists all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's people that just have an appreciation for what they like.
Yeah, they
And
go with that.
that's it. So, although I might totally geek out over one aspect of somebody's work, other people may not get it whatsoever, and that's the beauty of it. And then I get to explain it, and I feel all pompous and smart.
I think that we're getting a win announcement here.
All right.
Shit round. My name is Stay tuned.
Yeah, great show. How long have they been doing it in Chicago for?
Not that long. I think that there were a few events in previous seasons, but I think really only since this past October. If I could be incorrect though. I think that we had full seasons there before, but it's fairly recent with our current organizer and at Spin here.
Well, they put on a great show. The reset and everything like that seemed to go so smooth. They got a good team and great artists.
Amazing team. Really great artist roster. Lots of awesome artists in Chicago. And definitely want to take an opportunity to thank our team down at the venue there, and all of our awesome, super brave artists. It takes a lot of creativity and courage to step up to the easel at Art Battle. It takes a lot of nerve. So thank you to them, and also to everybody out there watching us and hanging out with us on the stream tonight. We are just finishing up our vote counting for the third and final round, and the winner announcement is imminent.
Yeah, so it's probably last chance to get a bid in if you are bidding on a piece.
Yeah, online auction is going, so make sure that you get those bids in.
Yeah, there's certainly a few I'd love to give a good home to.
Yeah, absolutely. I know there's a couple of pieces that I didn't expect to emerge as my favorites, but there's a couple in here that I've really enjoyed that are a little bit different than what I'd usually be drawn to. Definitely the roosters are just say the way that Elizabeth dealt with color in that piece and just how much fun that piece is, it really drew me to it.
Yeah, I personally am really drawn to these characters. I'm sorry, the name's escaping me at the moment. The street artist.
By Juju.
Yeah, Juju. I'm really digging the palette, and like I said before, normally I shy away from text in work, but it's a statement that fits the piece.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like it's contrasted by the kind of whimsical execution.
Mhm.
Like it's made more serious by the fact that the characters look more fun. I don't know. It makes more of an impact.
And that other portrait right beside it is just so incredibly good.
Yeah, that technical execution from Jeff was a killer.
Yeah, those skin tones up against those washes in the background are just fantastic.
Yeah, Jeff was really fun to watch paint, especially from like a paint nerd perspective.
Yeah.
So just seeing all of his different layering techniques and seeing all of these kind of unconventional color combinations, especially in his qualifying round piece, was really digging that.
I'm still loving the wild cards.
It's so fun. It's so tongue in cheek. Our wild card, quote unquote, Batman. Such a cheeky, cheeky dude. And it's funny looking at the way that the auction software is built in the scroll that we're looking at now. We can only upload portrait orientation, but the crop that's happening on Michelle's piece is showing me that, wow, that piece actually really functions well in both crops, the way that she painted it initially in the landscape and the way that it's cropped uploaded here. We'll see that cycle through in just a moment. So interesting what you're talking about, your professor saying that people buy more landscape orientation art. And I'm looking around my own studio and it's full of portrait.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I'm like, maybe I should turn the canvas once in a while.
Yeah, same here, actually. I'm looking at my own stuff.
So, Peter, you've got some pretty cool stuff coming up at the end of next month. You've got the Art Battle Ottawa finals.
Yeah, our 2019 season finals finally happening. Global pandemic could not stop us. We're going to get it done. And we're going to make sure that our painters finally get their opportunity. I know they've been chomping at the bit, all the way through the past 2 years, getting messages of like, tell me it's coming back, and we've finally been able to make it happen. The city has opened back up and lifted restrictions, and of course we want to bring it back in the safest way possible. But it's going to be really good to be back. Because a lot of these artists now are now, they're friends, they're family. Maybe I never would have met them ever if I had never gotten involved with Art Battle, but I truly love a lot of these people now.
And you become you get so attached, and like you're so proud of especially the finalists too, like and having waited through the whole pandemic for the finals to happen. I'm sure that that's really going to be just such a great celebration for you guys in the Art Battle Ottawa community. And Art Battle Ottawa has really been a stronghold for AB Canada as well.
Well, I learned from the best, and we really, we're a small city, and because of that, I think it has a lot of heart. And also maybe there's just not that much to do. So, and art battle is definitely a different kind of event than, what normally goes on. And, it's a smaller community of artists, but everybody kind of looks out for each other. And one of my favorite parts is that, like, we've had some really young artists that have literally grown up within the competition, and I've seen like this, shy little wallflower
Oh, wait.
painter.
Sorry, Peter, I gotta cut you off.
Yep.
All right, our winner of Art Battle Chicago was just announced, and it is Michelle Rivera. So huge congratulations to Michelle. Big win for her. She will be moving on to the Art Battle Chicago City Finals at the end of the season. Two very well executed companion pieces, each with their own kind of distinct flair. And yeah, big congrats to Michelle, and also to all of our super awesome, amazing, brave, creative art warriors that stepped up to the easel tonight.
Yeah, first try, no warm-ups, eh? Her first time battling, and she wins. Outstanding.
Yeah, just such a phenomenal performance from all of our artists tonight. So a huge thank you to everyone that stuck around and watched the battle with us tonight, and for everyone that casted their votes and placed bids. We appreciate you guys so much. And we will be back tomorrow for Art Battle Omaha. So be sure to join us tomorrow as well. We also have an event happening in Vancouver. Lots of exciting Art Battle stuff going on. In Toronto on Tuesday, we're doing a collaborative event with the Toronto Vocal Collective Sting. So there's going to be some live vocal performances there. So be sure to tune into that. I will be streaming there as well. And of course, a huge thank you to my co-host tonight, Peter Purdy. Peter, thank you so much for all of your just wonderful insights into kind of the inner workings of Art Battle and all of these artists and how they approach their paintings. Thank you.
Oh, always a pleasure.
And Peter, where can we find you on social media?
I do have an Instagram. I have not really been keeping up on it though. I'm shy with sharing my work on the internet because I am an Indigenous artist, and sadly, a lot of the times on the web it gets stolen and put onto products. So you'll have to come find me.
So we're all gonna converge on Peter's studio in just outside of Ottawa is the answer.
Beers in the